Hello, word nerds. Hey, word nerds, that was probably really irritating. My name is Spencer. Welcome to episode F20 of the dictionary. And, I should say I have a major lower back pain because I'm getting old, and it's not good for me to sit in chairs for many hours. I am sitting in a chair right now, and I will probably be sitting in a chair for a good chunk of today, but I'm going to try and move and be active because it is so good to move and be active. My wife and I went on a over 7-mile walk this morning, which was really good, really loosened up my stuff, but for a couple of days this week, I was sitting in a chair, and then the next morning I got out of the car and I was like, oh, that hurts. Lower left back hip area. Please, for your own sake, be active. Oh, this sucks. It sucks so bad. Okay, we're going to stop talking about that, and we are now going to talk about the first word in this episode, which is the second form of the word false. F-A-L-S-E. This one is an adverb from the 13th century, and it is in a false or faithless manner, and the synonym is treacherously. Treacherously. As in the example, his friends played him false. Oh, don't you ever play me false. If you play me false, I'm going to be very unhappy with you. And then I will say, you were mean, and that's the end of that one. Okay, my sound effect today is going to be ha. The next word is false alarm. 2 words, noun from 1578. Number 1, an alarm that is set off needlessly. An example of this alarm would be maybe a fire alarm or a burglar alarm. Wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo. No, that's more like an ambulance, I think. Bah, 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 bah. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to set off that alarm. Oops, I didn't mean to pull the switch on the wall and set off the fire alarm. That was an accident. It was needless for me to set off that alarm. Sorry, everybody, it's a false alarm. There's no actual fire. Please go about your business. No, I'm sorry. We are now legally required to evacuate the whole building, and the fire people have to come here and check out everything just in case, because you set off a false alarm. Number 2. One causing alarm or excitement that proves to be unfounded. This is not about a fire alarm, a burglar alarm. It's just like, oh, everybody, oh no, I'm the boy who's crying wolf. Oh no, there's a problem. We got to take care of it. Oh no, wait, that was unfounded information. The boy who cried wolf, that story, that was, the boy was setting off a lot of false alarms. And then people were like, you keep on setting off false alarms, and we're never going to think you're setting off a real alarm. That's the moral of the story. Only real alarms, please. Don't be playing pranks on us. We got pranked by the boy because the wolf was the false. There was no wolf until there was really a wolf. That was the false alarm. Okay. Anything else about false alarm? I don't know. I don't think so. Next is false arrest. 2 words, noun from 1715. An arrest not justifiable under law. Ooh, this is interesting. Somebody got arrested, but legally they were not supposed to be arrested. They should not have been arrested. The cops, this is interesting. Not justifiable under law. Maybe this is something they figure out afterwards. Maybe when they get to a trial or something and they're like, sorry, you arrested me. You had no justification legally to arrest me. So that was a false arrest, and you now owe me lots of stuff. I don't know. I wonder how often this gets brought up in the legal world these days. I think it makes sense that back in the 1700s, back in the day, it was a more common thing. But now I feel like they always got a reason. There's loopholes or real things. There's always a reason to arrest somebody. it seems like. False arrest. I don't know. How common is a false arrest? Should we look that up? Okay, let's just do that real quick. We'll just type in how common false arrests. How common are false arrests? Oh, boy. In Chicago, between 2010 and 2016, Chicago paid $322 million in judgments, settlements, and legal fees for reasons including false arrests, illegal searches, and seizures. Well, yeah. Estimates suggest that between 10,000 and 30,000 people are wrongfully arrested and jailed each year. Okay, yes, that is a lot. And I think that is probably in the United States. Is that what it's saying? Now, I was sort of, I knew that there would be a lot of people being arrested for things that are, like, not real. But I guess I was thinking, like, they will always come up with a good legal reason to do it. I don't know. Yeah. I got some learning to do. That's for sure. Okay, interesting one. False color. Noun from 1968. Color in an image as a photograph of an object. So, color in an image of an object that does not actually appear in the object, but is used to enhance, contrast, or distinguish details. This is interesting. Does not actually appear in the object, but is used to enhance, contrast. Okay, so I wonder if, like, sometimes people paint with a whole bunch of colors to make a thing, like an apple. Typically we think of apples as, like, red or maybe green, maybe even some yellows, but sometimes people will put in colors that are not part of the apple color, like a purple or a blue, or even a green, even if it's a red apple. But they put it in there to just sort of enhance it, make it interesting. But you can't always, you're not always extremely conscious of it, depending on how it's done. But it does mention a photograph. I also know that some sneaky way people can make an image look like it's color, even though it's black and white and gray. Feel like I need to post an example of this false color thing on social media, possibly. This is an interesting one. I'm sure it's not as complicated as I'm thinking. So that's that. Falsehood, noun from the 13th century. Number 1, an untrue statement, and the synonym is lie. Just things that are not real. Here's a falsehood. My name is Joe. That's a falsehood. That's a lie. Number 2, absence of truth or accuracy. When there is no truth or accuracy around, you cannot find any of the truth or accuracy. You are living in a falsehood. Is that like the neighborhood? The neighborhood that it's just all fake things, nothing that's accurate. I think that's the neighborhood that Trump lives in. 3, the practice of lying. And the synonym is mendacity. So, some people who like to lie so much, they have to practice 8 hours a day. You got to go look in front of the mirror and just practice your lies. Some people who lie a lot, they lie so much that that's their practice. They are so good at lying. I am the opposite of this. I am not a good liar. I try to avoid lying situations as much as I can because I know that I would just get into a situation that I would not be able to get myself out of, and it would be terrible. I see people in movies and TV shows, and they start a lie, and then it snowballs and snowballs, and I'm like, there's no way I could ever be a con man or anything like that. I couldn't do it. I would be caught so quickly in all my falsehoods. False imprisonment. I think this is going to be related to false arrest. Noun from the 14th century. Imprisonment in the N's and M's, there's a lot of them. Imprisonment of a person contrary to law. So, similar to arrest is getting arrested, doesn't mean they go to prison. But then with this one, they're going to jail, going to prison, even though the law doesn't say that they should. Somehow this happens, I am sure, based on what we learned earlier. Yeah, I need to probably know more about this. False imprisonment. Yeah, maybe there should be a link in the show notes for false arrest and false imprisonment, and you can read up on the stats of how often this is happening in the United States and maybe the world. Lots and lots, I'm sure now. Now that I think about it more and I read the stuff, I realize how stupid I was. Oh. Next is false miterwort or miterwort. So this is two words. The second word is miterwort. False miterwort. It is a noun from 1868. The synonym is foam flower. Foam flower? One word. Let's look up foam flower. What is this? Is it like, it looks like the foam from the washing machine, from your bathtub. Well, they do look very foamy, actually. We got to post a picture of this. Tiarella cordifolia. That looks like the species name. And yes, it looks like just stalks of foam on green leaves. Foam flower. So it's also called false miterwort because, let's see, miterwort or miterwort is from the resemblance of the plant's capsule to a bishop's mitre. And I don't know what a bishop's mitre is. Is that their hat? Is that their cloak? I don't know. Next is false morel. Morel. Two words. Noun from 1942. Any of a genus of fungi that are often poisonous and have a cap with convolutions resembling a brain. It looks like you know what a brain looks like, probably. Yes, you do. And it resembles a brain. And it has a cap with convolutions. The convolutions resemble a brain. I feel like I've seen these. We should probably post a picture of one of these. But this is the thing, is that it's a false morel. So there are morels, I believe, that are those the ones that are really, really sought after. They're really rare. I think they grow in very specific conditions when, the logs are like just the right dampness, and they're like a felled tree, and then they start growing from there or something. Very specific conditions that the morels need, if I'm remembering correctly, because of those, I think my mom found some in their backyard, and she was like, what? But that's the thing, is that there are other ones, these false morels, that look very similar, but they are poisonous. So you can't just go willy-nilly grabbing mushrooms and eating them. You got to make sure you got the right kind. How can you tell? I don't know. The genus name is Gyromitra, something like that. Now, I thought that maybe they had another name, when I'm not seeing a synonym here. So I guess we just have to call them false morels. I guess so. But yes, I should probably post pictures of false morels, maybe with morels, so you can maybe see the difference. Is there a difference? Those fungi, they get super sneaky to get people to eat them. Other living things too, not just people. Animals eat them too, maybe. Maybe animals are smarter than humans. Wow! False pregnancy. Two words, noun from circa 1860. The synonyms are pseudocyesis, and I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, also pseudopregnancy. So they both start with P-S-E-U-D-O, pseudo, like fake, false, that's what that prefix basically means. But this cyesis, C-Y-E-S-I-S, cyesis? I don't know. something about pregnancy, and the pseudo makes it mean it's false. It's not real. I think there are multiple situations where you would call something a false pregnancy, possibly. I guess the main thing being where your body is like, I think I'm pregnant. I'm going to start acting like I'm pregnant. Not having my period. Maybe showing some belly changes, hormone changes, lots of possible stuff. Why do these things happen? I don't know. The body does weird stuff sometimes, but I'm sure there are lots of reasons why. Your body might go through a false pregnancy. Yeah, let's put a link in the show notes for false pregnancy, pseudocyesis, and pseudo-pregnancy, so you can learn, I guess, more about that. Ha! False rib. 2 words, noun from the 15th century. A rib whose cartilages unite indirectly or not at all with the sternum. And it says compare to floating rib, which I have heard of that one. I think that's the one that's at the bottom of your rib cage, and it's like not fully connected, but it's still there. Maybe the cartilage is kind of connected or something. I'm not sure. But false rib, it sounds like it's a different rib. The false rib, the cartilages unite indirectly with the sternum or not at all with the sternum. The sternum is the one. Oh, okay. I think I got it. Okay, so the rib cage, we have a visual. I will move this screen so I can see my video better. So the sternum is the part in the middle of your chest that your ribs connect to. It's a very important thing because it's like the cage to your body. It's your body's cage. It protects your lungs and your heart and maybe some other stuff. So the sternum ends right there-ish. I can feel it. It's hard. It's hard all the way down until there. And then, of course, you got to watch the video. And so the ribs are coming in the side. Oh, yeah, that tickles so much. The ribs are coming in the side, and they connect to the sternum. But if you've seen pictures of the rib cage, they go down. They go down here because they got to protect the other things too. The kidneys, the pancreas, the spleen, the stomach, all those things. So I can feel my ribs go all the way down past this video. But they don't. So the cartilage connects the rib to rib to rib to rib. But these low ones at the bottom, they don't connect all the way to the sternum, which is up here. So those are the false ribs. Even though they're real ribs, they're ribs. But they're false because they don't connect to the sternum or very much to the sternum. But they are connected via cartilage to the other ribs. That's how they stay in place. And then this floating rib, I guess we'll talk about that when we get to the Fs. I mean, we're in the Fs, but later in the Fs. Okay. Oh, that was fun. I got to tickle me ribs. I don't know. Ha! Next is false Solomon's seat. Seat? No, seal. Seal. False Solomon's seal. 3 words. Solomon's has a capital S and an apostrophe S, and then seal is like the seal. That was bad. This is a noun from circa 1856. Any of a genus of herbs of the lily family that differ from Solomon's seal in having flowers in a terminal raceme or panicle. And it is called also false Solomon seal, which is one word. Solomon seal there is one word. And the genus name is Smilacina or Smilacina? Smilacina. Or maybe it might just be Smilacina. So it differs from the actual Solomon seal because it has flowers in a terminal raceme or panicle. And of course, I have no clue what that means. So if you are a plant person, you are probably already aware of false Solomon's seal. I think that's it for that one. Ha! Next is false start. 2 words, noun from 1815. Number 1, a premature start as of a race or football play. And that's the end of that sentence, a premature start, when specifically we're talking about sports, races, you got a foot race, right? There's people all lined up, and then the person is like, all right, ready, set. And before they can say go, before the gun goes off, somebody starts running because they were just so excited to get going in the race. They wanted to run so fast and beat everybody. And they're like, I'm going to have better reflexes than all the other runners around me. But oops, your reflexes were a little too good, and you ran before you were allowed to go. And that was a false start. And then, of course, yes, in American football, same idea. Before the quarterback yells the hut, hike thing, then sometimes people jump forward, and then that's a false start. There are rules, and I can't remember what it is. There are rules about it's one side can jump forward, and that's fine, but the other side can't jump forward. I think it's the offense can't do any moves. They have to stay still, but the other side can do some moving around if they gotta. I don't know. Oh, number 2 for false start. An unsuccessful attempt to begin something, and that something might be a career. Oh, I tried to start a career and it didn't work so well, so that was a false start. Oop, false start. In my video world, the video stuff that I do for work, if we're like recording somebody who's reading a teleprompter, and then they just get so fumbled up, or if we like gotta do something after we hit record, but we can't really get going, we're like, oh, false start, let's stop, keep on rolling, but false start, and then we'll start fresh. We say that a lot. Ha! Ha! The next word is falsetto. First form, falsetto, noun, from 1721. I should do this whole thing in a falsetto voice. Number 1, an artificially high voice, especially an artificially produced singing voice that overlaps and extends above the range of the full voice, especially of a tenor. This is so funny. Number 2, a singer who uses falsetto is a falsetto. Ha 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 ha. Okay, this word, it's Italian if you couldn't tell. It is the diminutive of falso, which means false, from Latin falsus, so I guess it just basically means false, because it's your false voice. Your false voice is up here. This is what they do when people yodel. They go yodelilu. Now I couldn't tell you what exactly you're doing when you're going into your falsetto voice, but you're not using your vocal cords, but I can't describe it. Ha 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 ha. Whatever. It's fun to do that. Yodelilu. Okay. We always got to get some yodeling in, right? We've never yodeled in this show before. Ha! The second form of falsetto is an adverb from 1940. It means in falsetto. That one's probably on music, sheet music, that kind of stuff. You must sing this part in falsetto, and it says falsetto. Wah! Next is false work. Oh, there's so many words in this episode. False work. One word, noun, from circa 1874. This is temporary construction work on which a main work is wholly or partly built and supported until the main work is strong enough to support itself. So they have to build stuff that's gonna come down later. So, like, let's say they're building a bridge. They gotta build up some stuff to hold up the pieces of the bridge so that it doesn't fall until the bridge can hold itself up later. You gotta make some false work until the true work is done. False work. That's it for that one. Ha! Can I do other notes? Ha! Ha! How high can he go? Ha! Next is falsy, or falsy? Noun from circa 1943. This is spelled Falsie. It is an artificial addition to a bodily part worn to enhance appearance. Specifically, a breast-shaped, usually fabric or rubber cup used to pad a brassiere. Huh. And this is usually used in plural, so you'd say falsies. Now, I don't know if people are calling those falsy or falsies anymore. 1943, so were these invented in World War II for some reason? It has to be, yeah, it sounds like mostly it's used to make somebody's breasts look bigger. And I guess since then, there have been other inventions like implants or padded bras. I mean, I just have never heard them called falsies before. That's the only thing that I didn't know about. Fabric or rubber cup used to pad a brassiere. You know, you can just use Kleenex. That's what some people, they just stuff a bunch of Kleenex in there, whatever. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say about this. Personally, I feel like be natural, be yourself, but also culture and society makes people do things for various reasons. Might make you feel more confident. If that's true, great. Keep on doing that. Whatever. It's not my place to say what anybody should or shouldn't do with their own life. It's just my opinion and how I feel about things. But I think I like truies better than falsies. Okay. Next word. Ha! Is anybody here? I don't think so. Next is falsify. Falsify, verb, from the 15th century. Now we are starting with transitive. Number 1, to prove or declare false. And the synonym is disprove. Well, you keep on saying that your name is Joe, and so everybody believes your name is Joe, but I have found your birth certificate, and there are no other documents that say that you have changed your name at a later date, and so I am falsifying your statement. Your statement is false. Yeah, so I'm proving that your statement is false. Okay. Number 2 is the kind of the opposite. It's to make false. If you are making something false, if I am falsifying my name by saying my name is Joe, it's not Joe. Can I call myself Joe? Sure. Can I change my name to Joe? Sure. But right now, legally, it is not Joe. 2a. So 2 is to make false as 2a, to make false by mutilation or addition. What? As in, the accounts were falsified to conceal a theft. Oh, there's the treacherousness. They were stealing some money, and so they had to cook the books. They had to make the books look like there was more money in, no, that there was less money in there than there really was, because they took the other amount of money. They took the extra money. They mutilated the books. They mutilated them, so they falsified the books. It's fun to say cook the books because of the rhyming. 2b, to represent falsely, and the synonym is misrepresent. Represent falsely, misrepresent, falsify. What are you representing falsely? If you take a picture of something and then you Photoshop it, that would be falsifying the thing, I guess. Number 3, to prove unsound by experience. To prove unsound by experience. So, what is this exactly? You are proving something is not sound, not safe, not real. I don't know. I think of a bridge again. Maybe you're proving that the bridge is not good, not safe, not sound. But the by experience is what's a little confusing. I know so much about bridges, and so I can falsify the bridge because I know that that part there should have some more screws in it because I know bridges, and that should have more screws, so that's unsound. I don't know if that's correct. Apologies. Intransitive says to tell lies, and the synonym is lie. Yep, that's it, to tell lies. Falsifiability is a noun, falsifiable is an adjective, falsification is a noun, and falsifier, that is also a noun. And we got one more that is related. Ha, ha, ha. Falsity. Falsity, noun from the 13th century. Number 1, something false, and the synonym is lie. It's a lie, which is false. It's a falsity. Do people use this word anymore? I'm not so sure about that. Not so much. Number 2, the quality or state of being false. So my statement, my name is Joe, has falsity because it is false. All right. Well, it's time to pick a word of the episode. Today we had false, false alarm, false arrest, false color, falsehood. I sound like a cartoon, a very specific cartoon. False imprisonment, false miterwort, false morale, false pregnancy. How low can I go and still be in my falsetto voice? False rib. This sounds so friggin' weird. I feel like I sound like somebody who talks really high and then I got slowed down. False Solomon seat, false start, falsetto, false work. This is so silly. Falsy, falsify, and falsity. Let's pick falsetto as the word of the episode. I'm singing in falsetto. A lot of times I'll sing. Oh, the songs are all the same. You got the bloop bloop bloop. When I'm in my car and I can't sing so high, I sing in my falsetto so I can still get the high notes. There's a song. It was the a cappella song. There's a line in there about falsetto. Even though it was falsetto, we almost reached the sky. We made a lot of changes since 1965. Had a lot of arrangements we used to harmonize. Now me, J, Jimmy, and Tubo, and Dave was on a guy. But then when I played my old 45s, I remember when I used to sing with my friends, we were looking for an echo. Okay, I'll stop now. Okay, the next movie that I watched, the falsetto was the word of the episode. Did I say that? I think I did. Okay, the next movie that we watched was Deadpool. This was a rewatch of Deadpool because we saw it way back when it came out, and I probably saw it one other time. And we were getting ready for Deadpool and Wolverine, which we sometimes like to call Deadpool versus Wolverine because, honestly, sometimes that's what it is in the movie. But Sharon wanted a reminder of Deadpool, and she never saw the second one, so hint, hint, that'll be the next one. But, oh man, it's such a fun movie. And I didn't know anything about Deadpool before this movie. I didn't read the comics or nothing, and I really like Deadpool. I love the fourth wall breaking and all that stuff. And I don't think I talked about this already, so whatever. Okay, that's the end of this episode. Thanks very much for checking out this show. Please tell your friends, subscribe, share it, write a review, all those things. And until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.